So in talking about a band such as Textures, a lot of things probably come to mind, perhaps a lot of different ways to describe the band. Some people use the term progressive, other people will say metalcore, some people may even throw around terms such as thrash or gent or space. But whenever we talk about this group, whenever we talk about Phenotype, their new album, in fact the first of two new albums that they're going to be releasing, the first of which is this year, the second of which will come in 2017, part of a two-album cycle, you really have to just look at what Textures has been able to accomplish, either that or names that remind you a lot of the band. And the one name that strikes me, the one that really jumps right out at times whenever I listen to this disc and some of Textures' other material, is actually Devin Townsend. Maybe that's the reason why this is a band that has certainly seen a bit of a rise in fame. So what does this band do? What does Textures do to really illuminate or showcase that sort of element? What do they bring to the table that is so resemblant, and how are they still individual in spite of all of this? Let's tackle a couple of these questions. Let's tackle it by looking directly at the album, by looking at tracks such as Oceans Collide or New Horizons to start things off. I really like the fact that this album begins with tracks that showcase all of Texture's strengths, which is a very good blend of vocal styles, whether it be a harder, more rough, aggressive edge, or cleans that sound more like they are meant to be in a metalcore song, almost as though Killswitch Engage let Textures borrow their singer, either that or at least give him a little bit of clean singing lessons. It's weird how there are some parallel connections there, although Texture's singer is just a little bit higher in register. But the music itself is one that it sort of blends between the complex and the devilishly simple, able to create some very sophisticated rhythms within their compositions, while at the same time still maintaining control and not going onto some sort of tangent that you might hear in a Blotted Science song or something of that variety. But these songs also have this coherent ideal that also has sort of almost like an ambient, a very space-like, a very out there, new frontier style feeling to them whenever the ambiance hits in the background, either that or whenever you hear some of the interludes that this album does boast, such as Meander halfway through, or even some Z-Man later on in the disc. This band excels, like a lot of bands like it, whenever they give themselves the opportunity to just expand their horizons and expand their compositions. This is a band that's done a couple of 10-plus minute long songs, but not on this album. Instead, we are greeted with only two 7-minute tracks, Illuminate the Trail, as well as The Fourth Plane. And these two tracks really shimmer as highlights simply because they have a lot of growth potential on here. It gives the band the opportunity to take advantage of both their chaotic, aggressive nature while also harnessing that more calm, that more atmospheric blend that they're able to really bring to the table and that they showcase within those interludes that I just mentioned. This is something where whenever you put those two things together and they combine them and really bring that harmony among their two sides, it brings forth balance. It is the yin and the yang coming together in order to craft perhaps what could be seen as the perfect Texture song. Illuminate the Trail is actually where the Devin Townsend comparison is at its absolute height. Some of the vocals that you hear on the clean side of things will just remind you of Debbie 100%. Or at least the setup, the way in which everything is put together and brought together, both musically and vocally. The entire package just speaks very much toward perhaps this being a forgotten track on a Ziltoid album, either that or that Debbie perhaps was sitting behind the production bench, twiddling his thumbs, looking like the mad scientist that he fucking is. But at all intents, whenever it's all said and done, should I say, this 9-track affair by Textures is infinitely interesting. It's one that showcases a strong and broad conceptual angle. It's got a lot on its mind, and it's not afraid to handle things kind of slow and steady. And whenever that chaos does come out on this record, it is one that really doesn't pull too many punches. I feel that Textures is getting on that musical plateau that I speak about every so often, considering their last few albums have gained them more and more respect, and albums such as Drawing Circles is really what helped to illuminate the legend, with Polaris being the one that began it. But this plateau that they're on is one where they are almost aiming even further. They're almost aiming stratospheric with this project, with this 2-album cycle, where it almost could, in some people's minds, make or break them. Well, let me just set one portion of that record straight, is that if Phenotype is going to be any sort of, precursor to what we're going to get delivered to us 1 year from now, in the year 2017, when we'll have flying cars and skateboards that beat people's asses for no reason aside to do that, and binders read us, this is a project that is worth exploring, and it's going to be one where you're going to want to check out what they do next year. It's in good hands, it's being handled tremendously well, and the music that is encased within these songs is very well constructed. It's catered to many fans. It's catered to many types of metal fan. So Textures is a band that really you should check out if you haven't done so yet. This band right here might be one of the best kept secrets that's been right in front of your nose. If you are one that has checked these guys out, perhaps your homework for tonight should be to actually recommend this album, this band, to 10 of your friends, although I'm sure you've tried to do that already, but maybe it's time to give it another go, considering this album just dropped yesterday. 84 out of 100% on this album. Very well executed, well done. I am looking forward to see what the second half of this album really boasts and beholds. The only weaknesses is that it does get a little bit predictable at points, at moments, but by and large, Textures is a band that's able to use their strengths in order to really craft things that are pretty unique. So the predictability notion is one that's a bit nitpicky. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about this album? Let me know in the comments below, because I got to go. I'm coverkillernation, and I will talk to you guys later. Oh, no, wait. Oh, shit. There's a Now That's What I Call Music this week. Fuck. Damn it. I'll be back.